Live from WTOC, the Southeast News leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Well, we hope you are all staying nice and warm on this Monday morning after a frankly fairly historic weekend in the city of Savannah and the coastal empire, seeing snow for back-to-back years for the first time in a little over a century. I'd like to welcome you all to The News on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley. Wanted to start off with some footage that our meteorologist Jamie Earl got over the weekend, showing quite the scene at Forsyth Park in some of this video. The icicles hanging off the Forsyth Fountain, some snow in the bushes. I was at Tom Triplett Park yesterday afternoon. Try not to slip on ice because of just all the weather we've seen. Really interesting sight, and some of it is sticking. And because of that, we did want to start with a bit of a warning today, as road conditions could continue to be dangerous across the coastal empire and the low country this morning. The state's Department of Public Safety in South Carolina reminds folks that they are expecting worse conditions as temperatures drop, especially early this morning. They warned drivers of black ice dangers on social media, saying to be on the lookout for any shady spots on the roads. They advise easing off the gas while driving and avoid sudden braking.
If you don't need to be out here, please do us a favor, help us out, stay off the roads. You know, we need to get DOT, we need to out here and give them room to work and do what they need to do to get the roads back in good shape for the week coming. So if you don't need to be on the road, do us a favor, stay home, enjoy it, be with the family, stay warm.
Officials encourage drivers today to be cautious near crew workers and first responders. You always want to make sure you just move over and give them some space. Well, Chatham area transit services are back to normal today after suspending operations over the weekend due to the snow and cold temperatures. Fixed routes, mobility paratransit, the Savannah Bells Ferry, the DOT Shuttle, Cat Connect, and the call center are now all back open. The Joe Murray Intermodal Transit Center and CAT central offices are also open as well. They opened up just a couple of hours ago, but all CAT services should be back up and running as normal this morning. Well, in Savannah, 12 people are now looking for a new home after the Savannah Fire Department responded to a house fire just before noon. This happened on Saturday afternoon. You're looking at some stills taken from that scene. Firefighters say they got the fire under control in less than 15 minutes. One person was taken by EMS after the fire. Stick with WTOC for any further updates. And turning now to the Crime Watch. Today, a jury trial has begun for a suspect charged with killing a man in Savannah 4 years ago. Jaheim Mitchell is accused of shooting 21-year-old Rashad Kinlaw back in October 2022 at the intersection of Mundy Street and Weldon Street. Mitchell was 17 at the time of the shooting and was arrested weeks later in Martinez, Georgia, 2.5 hours away. The trial was delayed from last fall due to a key witness for the state being unable to testify until now. Mitchell is in Chatham County Court right now. The trial started about a half hour ago. We will keep you updated as that trial develops. Turning now to state news this morning, tributes are pouring in for a Gwinnett County police officer after he was shot and killed while on duty. Another officer was shot and seriously hurt. Mary Kate Hamilton with our sister station reports from the Gwinnett County Police Department with more.
A memorial here is growing after a Gwinnett County police officer was shot and killed in the line of duty on Sunday morning. Another officer shot and seriously injured. This morning, people are gathering visibly emotional and adding to the memorial on fallen officer Pradeep Tamang's patrol car. The Gwinnett County Police Department says the fatal shooting was an unprovoked attack. The two officers were responding to a call that a man staying in a hotel in Stone Mountain was using a fraudulent credit card. What could have been a standard day for these two police officers turned deadly. The officer who died, Pradeep Tamang from Nepal. He was just beginning his law enforcement career, a recent graduate who had been with the Gwinnett County Police Department for less than a year. His partner yesterday, Officer David Reed, also seriously injured. He was rushed into surgery. Donations for both families have flooded in, with members of the law enforcement community and civilians across Georgia and beyond thanking Tamang for his service.
This moment calls for compassion and unity and reflection as we honor and mourn the loss of one of our officers and the officer who is recovering right now.
We have information on how to donate to both families up on our website, atlantanewsfirst.com. Reporting in Gwinnett County, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
And we should note those donation links are also on the WTOC website as well through that Atlanta News article with our sister station. Turning now to national news, you're taking a live look at Capitol Hill, where lawmakers are returning as the House of Representatives hopes of ending the partial government shutdown that took effect Friday evening. Now, the shutdown, which began again Friday night, impacts multiple departments with closures that began over the weekend. The Senate passed a package Friday funding those agencies. However, the House must now pass the same legislation before sending it to President Trump. If approved, it's set to fund each agency except the Department of Homeland Security through September. DHS funding is set to lapse again in 2 weeks as both parties debate current immigration and customs enforcement tactics, with Democrats demanding more guardrails on ICE following the deaths of Renee Good and Alex Preddy in Minneapolis. Well, changes made to SNAP are now in effect, and it could mean that millions of Americans lose their benefits. Passed last year, the Big Beautiful Bill added new work requirements that start now. Able-bodied adults without dependents must meet those to receive benefits beyond 3 months. The age limit rises from 54 to 64, and the child exemption age drops from 18 to 14. And flyers who do not have real ID will now face a $45 fee from the TSA. Other authorized forms of ID include a passport or Homeland Security Trusted Traveler Card. If you don't have any of those during security screening, you'll have to purchase a temporary TSA Confirm ID. That works for a 10-day travel period. In sports news, it's Monday, but we're already looking ahead to the weekend. The teams have officially arrived in California for the biggest game of the NFL season. The Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots flew into San Jose yesterday for Super Bowl 60. The rematch, 11 years in the making, will happen inside Levi's Stadium. In addition to Bad Bunny performing the halftime show, Green Day will get everything started with an opening ceremony to mark the 60th anniversary of the big game. Charlie Puth will sing the national anthem, Brandi Carlile will sing America the Beautiful, and Coco Jones lift every voice and sing. All right, this is a pretty cool story. Layla Edwards is set to make history as the first black female to represent the U.S. in Olympic hockey. Before heading to Milan, Italy, the 21-year-old enjoyed a memorable homecoming in Cleveland. Jared Hill has the story.
Layla Edwards has one heck of an icebreaker.
I started hockey just to do something, to stay busy.
Now, the college senior is the first black woman to represent USA hockey on the ice at the Olympics.
As I got older and more familiar with the sport and continued to work at it, these things were becoming more of a reality.
USA hockey coach John Wroblewski recognized Edwards' growth.
She's dialed in. She's changed positions. You know, she goes from forward to D, Red Bull athlete. All of these things, they're inspiring to watch.
Before the trip to the games in Milan, Italy, USA Hockey scheduled a rivalry series game against Canada in Cleveland, Ohio, Edwards' hometown.
It feels like a full circle moment.
Her parents, Robert and Sharon, have been at their daughter's side throughout her journey. And thanks to a GoFundMe boost from fellow Ohio natives Travis and Jason Kelsey, they'll be there to cheer her on at the Olympics as well.
When you get that close and you can almost see it, it's like opening ceremony, watching her walk with all of those athletes that are representing their countries. That's pretty big.
With the games now just days away, there are a lot of eyes on this 6-foot-tall forward-turned-defender. But her dad says they're trying to manage the pressure.
We're, trying our hardest, to make sure that she knows that it doesn't matter, how she performs, that, we love her to death.
All the hard work is worth it for sure.
Going for gold with Team USA, she's already turned her hard work into history. Jared Hill, CBS News.
There is a shadow here on my ground. 6 more weeks of winter abound.
Well, Punxsutawney Phil has made his decision. The famous groundhog came out around 7:20 this morning and saw his shadow. That means 6 more weeks of winter. The first official Groundhog Day dates back to 1887. That's when people in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, made their first trek to Gobbler's Knob, which is Phil's current home. All right, finally here on WTOC Plus, stars gathered for the Grammy Awards last night, marking music's biggest night with memorable performances and awards that made history. Bradley Blackburn has a recap.
Magic and music were in the air at the Grammys, with performers from Lady Gaga to Bruno Mars. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year for Wildflower. Olivia Dean took home Best New Artist. And Kendrick Lamar, now the most winning rapper in Grammy history, received Record of the Year alongside SZA.
This is what music is about.
Lamar also making history as the first artist to win Record of the Year consecutively. Another big winner, Bad Bunny, who made history with the first Spanish-language album to win Album of the Year.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams.
He was one of several stars who spoke out about immigration enforcement.
I'm going to say, eyes out.
Some wearing pins saying ice out.
I would be remiss if I didn't say something about what's happening in the actual world.
The late Ozzy Osbourne was honored with an all-star tribute led by Post Malone, while Lauryn Hill returned to the Grammy stage for the first time in more than a quarter century to honor Roberta Flack. Trevor Noah was back hosting for a 6th and final time, and he presented Cher with a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Never give up on your dream, no matter what happens.
Dreams realized for so many artists on music's biggest night. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Saw Jelly Roll at the end of that story. He's coming to Bloomingdale, of all places, in a couple of months for a concert. Wrote up an article about that with Kid Rock and Miranda Lambert as well, I believe. So if you're looking for something to do music-wise, we don't have a whole lot of concerts here typically, but that should be a big one. You can find the details about it on our website right now. I think it's called Rock the Country, I believe. All right, and with that, we are going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. We'd like to thank you all for joining us this Monday morning. We'll be back in just about 45 minutes for a look at your forecast with Andrew Gorton. We'll see just how long these frigid temperatures will last. Until then, you can always check our website for the latest at WTOC.com. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.